Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make sure everybody's mic's turned on.
Need everybody to sign the minutes from the July 21st meeting. And is there any additions or corrections to the August 4th meeting? Any additions or corrections to the August 4th meeting? Hearing none, I take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. A motion by Mr. Dodd, a second by Mr. Olery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those pass. Before we go to old business, I need entertain a motion to recess the regular meeting to go to public hearings.
So moved.
Second.
And a motion by Mr. Byron, a second by Mr. Dodd to recess the regular meeting and go to the public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're in public hearing, old business, Lynch subdivision, Wyatt Johnson.
Wyatt Johnson, 118 East South Street, Tipton. I'm a land surveyor. I wasn't here when this was heard 2 weeks ago, but I believe the situation was that there were some neighbors who have drainage problems, and they were concerned, and we were to figure out if there was any solution. I understood that the question was whether the pond overflowed or not. And I submitted calculations showing that in the 100-year, 500-year, and 1,000-year storm, if you assume that all the water that lands on the watershed flows into the pond still does not overflow. So it's because the watershed is relatively small and the pond is relatively big. So I think the solution, and all the land drains, slopes to the west. So I think that the pond does not contribute to the problem on the west side of the road. And I think that's a problem that the landowners there need to solve. If you have any other questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
Are you saying the pond has never overflowed or will never overflow?
I'm saying that under those conditions, it won't. And that's making a pretty big conservative assumption that all the water flows into the pond. So in other words, there's going to be water that stands in low areas around the pond, on the land around the pond, water that stands in people's driveways, water that stays on their roofs, water that stays in their gutters because their downspouts might be blocked, water that evaporates, which isn't very much, but some does evaporate during a storm. So I'm not considering any of that loss, and still, in the 100, 500, and 1,000-year storms, the pond does not fill up enough to flow out of its banks.
Any other questions from this board? Public comment? Come on up, and name and address.
My name's John Rocchio. I live at 5387 North 250 West, directly to the west side of the pond. We understand that the flood issue is probably not so awfully bad. The other concern that we were aware of here was any surface water, or what would happen that if they had to put perimeter drains around that property or around a septic system or anything. There are no other houses on that pond that discharge into that pond. And it was our belief or our understanding that you were going to intend to have that lot drain or that property drain into the pond, not necessarily to flood, but to bring E. coli or anything else that would come that way. Now, if it could drain to the west or to the north, that is a very low area and a very saturated area for the most part. I think we just mentioned that just to the north and to the west side of the road, there's a low area, and that Mr. King even made comment that along that field, along the backside of this property, it was very low and wet. So we were concerned that any extra discharge into that would affect, when there's water in that hole, that low area. Although I think it's been looked into, our surface area, my actual property does not drain that direction. I believe it does, just as a visual thing. But water comes up in my basement. When there's water in that hole, there's water in my basement. Now, I take precautions to have that pumped out. It's just an indication that I need to watch that. So those are the two concerns that we have, of any discharge of E. coli because of perimeter drains, or anything in the future. Once she starts to develop this 8 acres that she's wanting to do, we understand that you just want to build one house, but in, maybe 10 years from now, someone's going to say, hey, I want to build 5 more houses along there. And it's just going to increase. We already know there's an issue with the drainage to the west. We just don't want to make it any worse than it already is. And those are the concerns that we have, along with, I'm not sure that the flood issue is paramount, but the other issues that we've discussed here are a major concern for us. And with some other backing that we have here, of all the other neighbors, it's not that we don't want her to build a house. We just want precautions and things taken care of to prevent any of those issues from happening. So that's what I
Thank
have
you.
to say. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any comments from this board, or what's the wishes of this board?
I was one of the original members who was skeptic about this. I did go out and take a look at it. After looking at it firsthand, I think that it did answer my questions and it answered my concerns. So I am more of a proponent of it now than I was by just looking at the pictures. So I don't know how the rest of the members feel.
Can Wyatt address those concerns that they had, that he voiced? Can Wyatt address those?
Yeah, I guess I thought that all the houses that are there drain into the lake. It's natural. They would have to go across another landowner's property to get to the open ditch. So, Mr. Rocchio, do you know for sure that the perimeter drains around the septic systems around Reindeer Lake don't drain into the lake, into the pond?
Yes, I have contacted all the neighbors around the west side of that area, and there are nothing discharges through a drainage system into that pond.
Okay.
And then in fact, if you go down to the west, everything comes out to the west, to go to the south, then it crosses the road.
Where do the perimeter drains go?
They may not be there, there may not be a perimeter drain, that's been there for quite a while.
I believe Greg might be able to help me on that. When these were built, I think it was about the time that the septic ordinance was changed dramatically, and most of those houses would have been built after that, which required a subsurface or perimeter drain and a shallow septic system instead of a deep septic system.
There is a tile that goes across that front, across the road side of those properties, and any drainage is supposed to go into that.
Which side of the road is it on?
It is on the east side of the road.
Okay. I don't think, the way modern septic systems are done, I don't think there's much chance that there will be E. coli from the septic system get outside the septic system. There's, the Board of Health used to require a 25-foot separation between the perimeter drain and septic fields, and that wasn't enough to lower the groundwater. So they changed that to 10 feet. And I believe that if there was an E. coli problem throughout the state, that the state would not have kept that 10-foot separation.
Does that answer your questions, Mr. Bray?
Yes, sir.
What's the wishes of this board?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion by Mr. Dodd and a second by Mr. Byram. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Starlight Lodge subdivision and resolution HCDB 2509, public hearing. I think you're probably going to do this one too, Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Give Elaine the night off.
She took it off. She doesn't understand that she's really the boss.
She made that clear to us.
This is a one-lot subdivision. There's a regulated drain nearby. The petitioner originally wanted to build their house such that it would be about 10 to 15 feet into the regulated drain easement. When they learned the possible issues, if they did that, they elected to move the house so that it won't be in the regulated drain easement. I don't think there are any other issues with this property. You have a drainage plan that shows quite a bit of elevation difference across the lot, and that they would daylight the perimeter drain on their property. I'm sorry, they won't daylight it on their property. They'll have a drain go directly, pretty much north to the regulated drain.
This address is 7091 East 100 North in Greentown? Is that the address of this property?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds right. Oh, yeah, it's not on the location map either. But it is on, they access it from 100 North,
Yeah.
and it would be about 710, 715 east.
Mr. Surveyor, was there any issues with this?
No, I had requested Elaine to notify the potential owners that we would be going through their front yard when we clean that ditch, and wanted to make sure they were fully aware of that. I think that's why they moved the house back off the easement. And the same with the septic.
So it's far enough back now, you would not go through their front yard.
Oh, I'm still gonna go through their front yard, it's just I'm not, their house wouldn't be at risk.
Okay.
No, there, when we take the spoils out, there will still be a large amount of material spread in their yard when we do clean it.
Yeah, and it's not pretty, and it might smell.
Correct.
Wyatt, I asked Elaine when she was here if the builders or if the owners of this property had ever seen a ditch that had been dredged.
She didn't tell me you asked her that. So I don't know if she found out.
I hope they have, because it is,
Yeah.
you know, pretty invasive.
Any other questions for Mr. Johnson? Any public comment? Hearing none, what's the board's wishes on this property?
I move to approve.
The motion by Mr. Dodd, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Olery. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. Bailey Estates subdivision,
Point of
Randy.
order.
Pardon?
Can we address the petition for the resolution of 09?
Yes, and I was looking for the copy, but go ahead.
The main question that I have, since it was petitioned to encroach and they have requested that to be removed, do we need to finish that petition by denying it? Or removing it?
Mr. Wilson, do we need to remove it, or do we need to?
The petition? No, I think you need to remove it.
I'd entertain a motion to remove Resolution HCDB 2509.
So moved?
Got a motion by Mr. Byram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bray. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's been removed. Bailey Estates subdivision, once again, Randy, and didn't want to mispronounce his name last time. Van Guten? Randy Van Guten?
No, he's not here.
Okay, so that's going to be moved to continue to September 2nd, okay?
He requested a continuance.
Okay. Resolution HCDB 2510, a public hearing, encroachment of the Kidney Run regulated drain. Jose Prado, owner of 2918 Congress Drive.
My name is Jose Prado, and I'm at 2918 Congress Drive. And I'm asking for permission to build a two-story garage on the southeast side of my house, where the shed is set right now. We just moved the shed north.
There's already structures there that encroach, correct?
Yes, that's the shed he's speaking about, that he wants to move to the north and build his garage in that same location, not coming any closer to the drain than the shed is currently today.
It'll just be closer to the house, but it'll be 8.5 feet away from the house.
Greg, when we talked about this for acceptance, you didn't have any problems at that point, did you?
No, we just needed to notify the adjoiners in case they wanted to be heard, which was the city of Kokomo, and they were notified.
Is there any public comment on this? If not, before we make an action on it, I'm going to read this into the record. Resolution number HCDB 2510, a resolution consenting to encroachment on the county statutory right of entry under IC 36-927-33. The requesting owner is Jose A. Prado and Maria De Losas A. Prado, 2918 Congress Drive, Kokomo, Indiana. 46902, regulated drain affected as the Kidney Run drain. Upon request of the owner, acting pursuant to IC 39-927-33, the board hereby consents to I'm not sure what the amount of the encroachment is, upon the county statutory right of entry associated with this drain for the purpose of permitting owners to permanently place and/or maintain within the encroachment area the structures, trees, shrubs, woody vegetation, and other items more particularly identified and located on Exhibit A attached here too. It shall be the sole responsibility of the owners to maintain such structures and items. The board hereby retains all the rights and remedies under IC 36-9-27-33 except as they are modified by this resolution on the 18th day of August 2025.
I move for approval for HCDB 2025-10.
Got a motion by Mr. Byram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Olery. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
At this time, we could entertain a motion to go back to the regular drainage board.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Bray and a second by Mr. Dodd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're back in regular drainage board. New business, Crumley Crossing subdivision acceptance. Mr. Johnson.
This is just a one-lot subdivision. It's over towards Greentown. It's on 750 West, just north of 0 North South. And
Did you
there's a
say by
drainage.
Greentown?
That wouldn't be
Sorry.
750 West.
The other
I
way.
read east. I'm sorry. It's way out west.
Okay. Just making sure we're in the same pew.
Well, I've done like 8 subdivisions in the last 4 weeks. I can't remember which is which. This one does have quite a bit of slope. It's got a waterway, I'd say, through the center of the property, which is where they would be able to outlet their drain tile, the perimeter drain for the septic field, on to daylight it into that low area. None of the soils are hydric.
Questions for Mr. Johnson?
Once you have the boring locations done, will you be locating where you plan to outlet on the topo?
Yeah.
Nope, I don't have that. Okay. Oh, thanks.
All right, questions for, any other questions? If not, we can entertain a motion to set it for public hearing on September 2nd.
I move to put up or set up the public hearing for September 22nd, you said?
Seconds.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Dodd to set it for public hearing on September 2nd. Do I have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Mr. Byram. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 So, Mr. Johnson, September 2nd at 5 o'clock. Promise Wedding Estates subdivisions. Hello.
Hello, Tori Tripp, Tripp Engineering Consulting, 401 South Second Street, Converse. This is Promise Wedding Estates. It's on County Road 1150 East, which is kind of southeast of Greentown.
That's where I got you.
Yeah, right.
I got messed up.
This is for a site plan and a one-lot subdivision. The total acreage is 6.57 acres. The site would include a chapel, an event center, and its associated parking. We'll have a detention area that will discharge to a wetland that goes to a 4-foot box culvert that goes under 1150 East. And we're requesting to set the public hearing for September 2nd.
Thank you.
Is this a bare lot, or is there something there now?
There's a residence there now, but it's going to be torn down.
Okay. Maybe you said that. I apologize if I missed that.
have a couple comments.
Go ahead, Mr. Lake.
A couple comments that I have would be, make sure that you're running your stormwater permit adjacent with the drainage board so that they both come together at the end of this process, so you're not waiting for, the stormwater permit needs to be approved prior to drainage board approval. Okay. The second item is what you said in reference to the detention basin draining to a location above a wetland. In our stormwater ordinance, that addresses that wetland as a sensitive area, which then the water quality aspect of it, we need to look at any best management practices or treatment trains to ensure that that sensitive area is not impacted with this development. I've talked to Ms. Tripp a little bit about that tonight in reference to the stormwater basin is a post-construction BMP, and it will be inspected annually from the time it's built forward through our post-construction requirements. When we're out inspecting that basin, we will be looking for any type of oil residue coming off that parking lot, getting through that basin, causing a impact to the wetland. If that happens, they will be required to address it with additional BMP requirements at that time. Or she can design some type of treatment train today and put in place to stop any particular oil sheen from leaving that parking lot. So we've had that conversation, and she's going to look into that. But I just wanted to make sure that this board understands when we are draining to a wetland, it is a sensitive area, and we look at that much more closely, and we require additional treatment trains before that discharge. If it was a Walmart parking lot, we wouldn't be having this discussion. They would have many more stop practices before the outlet. But on this particular setting, being a wedding venue, I don't think there'll be a whole lot of traffic in that parking lot. So just so you all understand, that's something that Stormwater will be looking at on this project. And that's why the stormwater permit is required prior to drainage board approval, because we want to make sure it gets through all of that process.
Thank you, Mr. Lake.
You're welcome.
Greg, will this business have to come before the planning commission at any time?
Which business? This site
wedding
plan?
venue.
Yes, it comes before planning commission. You're trying to get it there.
The deadline is Friday.
Right.
And then I think it's September,
But the
16th?
hearing would be September 16th. So she's got to get all of her ducks in a row before the 16th, or it will get continued to planning commission. But I think she can get it through the system. She just want to make sure she's applied and geo permits for your stormwater permit while you're working on the drainage board stuff. It needs to run together, or you won't make the deadlines.
Does this board wish to hear this on September 2nd? If I do, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved?
A motion by Mr. Byram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Ullery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? September 2nd, 5 o'clock. Resolution HCDB 2507, Fast Track Reconstruction. The Butler Paget Wiles Regulated Drain, Paul Van Horn.
There should be a representative from Mr. Salisbury's. There we go.
Stuart Rounds representing Ted Salisbury to install a replacement of that ditch. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing.
With the map,
You can help me out a little bit. I mean, all I need is feet.
18-inch
Yeah.
across that farm. Do you know the footage on that, Paul?
Where's this at?
There it is.
2,100 feet, is that what you said? 70 feet, 18-inch tile, it's between 450 west and 400. We're asking that, to provide the tile, and then we're going to put it in on our cost. We're
So-
installing the tile.
So what he's describing is we have plans to use the remainder of some ARP dollars like we have on the previous 4 fast-track reconstructions, to where the federal dollars would be considered a grant purchasing the tile for this project, and the owner is responsible for installing the drain per our requirements. So that's what they're trying to accomplish.
Is this where the state was recently out there, just like a couple weeks ago, pulling out corn stalk?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a time frame when this will be done?
By the end of this year.
Yep. We're set up with, they're ready to go. We got 2.5 beans on. Hopefully we can have them off in the next month, and we should be ready to go for the install.
Yeah, the plan is as soon as crops come off for it to be installed.
So which way does the water flow?
North.
North.
It flows to the north?
Yep.
Right across 26.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay, once again, before the board takes action, bear with me, it's going to take a few minutes to read this.
You can have it if you
Resolution
want
number HCDB 2507, a resolution of the Howard County Drainage Board authorizing reconstruction of a regulated drain under IC 36-927-52.5. This resolution applies to the real estate described in Exhibit A attached through which Butler Paget Wiles regulated drain runs. This real estate is currently owned by Ted Salisbury pursuant to IC 36-927-52.5. The board makes the following findings. Number 1, the owner has presented a proposed project for the reconstruction of the drain to the board for approval. Number 2, the proposed project consists exclusively of the relocation of the drain from one site on the real estate to another site on the real estate as shown in the attached Exhibit B. Number 3, the specification for this project have been approved by the county surveyor. Number 4, the project will be completed under the supervision of the county surveyor. Number 5, the petitioner will arrange for the completion of the entire project at no cost to the county or any other owner of land using pipe acquired by the surveyor for the watershed with federal grant funds. Consequently, no part of the project will be assessed to any other owner land in the watershed. All phases of the project will be completed under the supervision of the surveyor. Number 6, the county surveyor has investigated whether any other owner of land in the watershed in which the drain is located will be adversely affected by the proposed project and has advised the board that no other owner will be adversely affected. Number 7, based upon the county surveyor's representations, the board finds that no owner of the land in the watershed in which the drain is located will be adversely affected by the proposed project. Therefore, the board hereby authorizes and orders the reconstruction of the drain on the real estate consistent with the findings made herein, adopted the 18th day of August 2025. What's this board's wishes?
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Byron and a second by Mr. Dodd for HCDB 2507. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Proceeding HCDB 2505, an assessment increase on the Little Pipe regulated drain.
Just a second. We need to go back into a public hearing.
Before we do, number 4, we need to adjourn the regular meeting and go back to public hearing.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Byron,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're back in public hearing, and we're ready for HCDB 2505, an assessment increase on the Little Pipe Creek regulated drain. And there's Paul.
So Little Pipe Creek regulated drain is located in Jackson and Union Townships in Howard County and Sims and Green Townships in Grant County. It consists of over 62,000 feet of open ditch and more than 25,000 feet of drainage tile, ranging in size from 30-inch to 6-inch. The watershed contains 8,422 and a half acres across both counties. A little bit of a history here. The first assessment was set back in 1978, paid 1979, at a rate of 94 cents an acre with a $4.69 minimum fee. By state statute, that minimum fee was raised to $5 in 2002. In July of 1980, all of the open ditches that drained into the main open ditch were combined into the Little Pipe Creek, as well as the Smith, Hardin, and Riggs tile drains. In 1981, a complete cleanout of the ditch was bid out and completed in 1982. Since that time, multiple sections of the open ditch have been cleaned out and kept sprayed, including the installation of two-stage ditches. Overall, roughly half of the open ditch has been cleaned and maintained since between 2011 and 2016. However, much work is still needed. And by maintained, I basically just mean the spray program. Since 2016, 2011, that time period, it has not been dredged out again. The purpose of this assessment increase, number one, to pay off the existing debt, which this drain encumbers $8,368.76 in debt. And the proposed assessment would be to pay for the complete clean out of the open ditch, repay the debt. The entire watershed is being assessed at a rate of $48.02 per acre. And the way it has been broken up in Howard County, we're converting, like we have been on all of our regulated drains, to land use, soil type, and a $50 minimum fee. And then in Grant County, it's being changed to $9.60 an acre and a $50 minimum fee. After the 5-year period, that would drop down to a maintenance fee of approximately $50,000 a year, or roughly $6 an acre. The $50 minimum fee would remain in effect. The maintenance fee would cover the cost of dipping every 8 to 10 years and spraying every 2 years while collecting funds to fix tile breakdowns as they appear. Should the fund reach 4 times its annual collection, we will have the option to shut off that collection, but as we're spraying it every 2 years, it is unlikely that that will happen. This assessment increase follows our pattern of increasing a ditch for 5 years, dropping it down to a maintenance assessment, and then moving to the next adjacent watershed like we have done on Deer Creek, Matthew Howell, and Honey Creek. Little Pipe Creek was the next one on the line. We did increase the Grant Howard regulated drain ahead of that, but that was not on a 5-year increase. That was on a general maintenance, and that was back in 2023. So at this time, we're asking that the board approve proceeding number HCDB 2025-05 in order modifying benefits and increasing assessments on the Little Pipe Creek watershed. I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Paul, did you say $4.80 an acre or $48 an acre?
$48.02 an acre, and that is for the entire 5-year period.
So they do that for 5 years.
That's for the full 5-year payment.
You
Now, not
divide
every-
that number
Oh,
by
that,
5.
divide that
Divided
number
by
by,
5,
okay,
yes.
thank you. I thought
It's a
that seemed,
clarification I could have made in my notes, and I did not.
that's okay. But you did now, thank you.
Is the Grant County Surveyor present? Nope. All right, thank you.
Any public comment on this matter?
I actually just have a couple questions.
Come on up.
Jane Garr, I live out on 1350 East. And I wasn't able to attend the meeting that you guys had before about this when you were discussing how to pay for everything. I had Miami County Fair going on, and I had to be there every day. And I'm not sure how long, you guys, the process and how you pay for this, and it's come up over the years and everything, and how that was determined. Do the people that have land touching the ditches pay the same as the people that don't have land touching the ditches but are running off into those ditches?
So everyone inside the watershed is treated equally. So in this particular case, with Grant County having ground in this watershed, Grant County does not have the technology that we utilize when it comes to drainage assessments. So we're using the GIS system to cookie cut every parcel. So we take the soils and overlay on a parcel and we cookie cut that out. And we take the land use and overlay the parcel and cookie cut that out. And then we have a minimum fee. So each parcel pays the same amount based upon their land use and soil type across the entire watershed. Just in this particular watershed, with Grant County being associated with it, that's why we split the watershed to begin with to a price per acre. That's at 4802. So we know the total acres in the watershed. We can divide out how much each county is going to pay as a whole. And then Grant County is going to assess their side of the county, their constituents, on that price per acre and minimum fee only. We no longer utilize that methodology since we have the technology to use soil type and land use. It takes a lot of the bias out of it for us.
Because, I have 3 parcels that I got a notice for. I'm already involved with the Grant Howard ditch, as you know. I have an 80-acre plot that is struggling a little, well, it's not struggling, which leads me into another question that you might have to explain me in a little bit where I have to talk to you about that. But when my dad's ground was dredged out, I'm going to just throw out 30 years ago, there was a section of that did not get leveled off properly, and it caused water to not be able to run to the Grant Howard ditch. And so the Little Pipe Creek is 2 miles over west of me, and a section of my 72 acres goes west, but it's a very small section that goes west. Everything goes to the Grant Howard ditch. And so that's why I was asking the question of, that 80 acres that you guys are trying to take a section off of that's saying that's going to Little Pipe. I have trouble a little bit now because it didn't get dredged out properly 30 years ago. And so, and that's hearsay. It's over and done with, and there's, but that's why I wasn't sure how, you guys are taking that part of that 80 acres that majority of my land goes into the Grant Howard ditch.
I'd be happy to show you on a map.
Yeah, I would like that.
Where the watershed boundary break is at in your field, and then that will show the small amount that goes to Little Pipe,
Right.
the majority going to Grant
Right,
Howard.
and I know that there's a section of that does drain west. So, but I wasn't sure how it was determined, like if the people that don't have land that are directly touching that ditch, but there's ground here that runs toward that ditch, it's the same, is what you're saying.
For Howard County, we do a proportion to total. So yes, it is exactly the same. If
And,
it's the same
and it's
soil
like
type.
something that to consider, and I don't even know, and really almost enough about this to even be suggesting this, but my boy's uncle has been a surveyor up in Elkhart County for 40 years. He's had the job. He can't get rid of the job. He's been, since he got out of college. And they do things up there. It might be interesting for the board to look into another avenue, but they charge the whole county, everybody in the county, 50 cents to pay as a whole. And so, it doesn't jump into situations like this that get into people's pockets, that get frustrated, when there might be another avenue to look at to see how to divide this, because everybody in the county, no matter if they're in a subdivision or, incoming solar, we don't know how they apply into and how they're going to pay into this tax. I don't know because we're not there yet. But there might be another avenue to look at to see another way to spread this out, because everybody in Elkhart County, The whole county pays 50 cents a person. And so, because at some point, everybody benefits to drain into those. So I don't know, I'm just kind of throwing out a suggestion. And I wasn't here a month ago when you guys had that meeting to even have that discussion, but
So back in the late 60s, the state gave that as an option to where you would do away with individual regulated drains and you would go to a countywide general drain fund that every parcel paid into. At that time, our forefathers chose not to go that direction.
yeah.
So that's why we have individual regulated drains and we have watersheds that those that benefit in the watershed pay that bill.
okay.
And that's how this board's been
okay,
set up.
that makes sense.
Yep.
I know it's been a little while since, and this might be another topic, I don't know, but the floodplain we were all on that Zoom call, and sometime I'd like to know the status of that and where that falls. And I know I just recently found out that 2 ditches got closed in next to me, and I don't know how that's going to flood this future floodplain, if they're looking at doing that, because I know when my dad was on that Zoom call, in 90 years that he's been on that property, that ditch, the Grant Howard ditch, he's never seen that flood. It's never overflowed. And so, I'm still in a confusion about why they're considering, even though nobody's been out there, nobody's walked the property, nobody's walked this, according to the maps that were given to us, nobody's walked out there and come to talk to us, and I've got the names of the guys that I think I wrote down from that call that I'd like to follow up with, because I want to know if there's going to be more of an issue in that flood, what they're considering to be floodplain, because those ditches got closed in.
So what you're asking about is best available information on floodplains, which is DNR. And their DNR a few years ago digitized the floodplains.
Yes.
Utilizing,
I got the maps.
using
Yeah.
LiDAR, okay? And they're trying to get that approved through FEMA, which is not done yet on the federal level. As far as people being out and walking and looking, they did not do that.
No.
They did it strictly by the digital elevation modeling.
And I asked them to.
I don't know that they will do that, but
Probably
that's,
not.
that's DNR.
Probably not.
The whole goal of that best available information is just to draw a line on a map. So what you've seen over history will continue to be the same, whether that line is drawn on the map or not.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, I think that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Grace April, 12765 East, 100 North, Greentown. Mine's not really comment. I've got a couple questions. My husband couldn't be here. First, I have a question to Mr. Lake about land use. 21 acres. I guess I'll put it in perspective. You've been to our place, where the cattle are. There's existing trees and cattle fencing. We were told when we moved there in '89 not to touch it, and we didn't touch it. Was that land use taken into consideration? Because we're not allowed to farm that at all. It's in a 20-year contract with Soil,
NRCS.
Water, CPR. It's a grazing thing. So that was taken into consideration.
So all of, when we utilize land use, it's a GIS layer. And that land use layer is maintained and overseen by the assessor's office. So whatever the assessor is assessing your property as, they identify the land use. I use that information for our side of the fence in drain calc. But as far as it being changed or manipulated, that is strictly done by the assessor's office.
Okay, so is it any value to me to see how they've assessed it?
Sure.
I mean, will it affect the payment over the next 5 years?
More than likely, it's assessed as an ag
Okay.
And so the answer is probably no, but I think you should be aware of how they're assessing you, sure.
Okay. Thank you, that's a good answer. I have another question. Again, you're familiar with my property. Where the bridge is on 100 North, there's a little pizza shape that we thought we used to own when we moved there. We started mowing it and taking care of it. It's not owned by us, it was owned by Mrs. Craner. So that ditch coming from 1300 East by Renbarger's, 1300 East, goes by the cattle, back
Around your house.
around my house. Then in my backyard, it becomes the neighbors. I think it's Elliott's, but it's called Yellow Brick LLC because I'm not sure who I'm supposed to contact. A tree fell down. It's in full leaf and it's alive. And it's blocking, maybe a beaver did it, I don't know. It's blocking the whole thing there. If we get the 3.5, it happened after the 3.5 inches rain. And I'm wondering, who do I contact to get, because we were told never to touch the creek.
Is it in the ditch?
It's in the creek, yes, the
Okay,
ditch.
so it's in the ditch, and it's not just laying over the top of it, it's actually down in the water, blocking water?
Yes, because of all the branches. It was
So
a big
then,
tree.
that would be us. We would come
Oh.
out and take it out.
Okay.
You've been contacted.
We've been contacted. We'll get a work order out on it.
Okay. I wrote this stuff down. Okay. I think I mentioned this when I was at the Greentown Wesleyan Church. And I apologize, I was a little hot that night.
It's okay.
When we got the 3.5 inch rain, I went out with my little camera and I took pictures to see because it flooded the pasture, flooded the field that goes up. It flooded that, flooded my whole backyard. The two-stage ditch, I believe you mentioned there was two-stage ditches. We've got one of them.
Right.
It never broke the top. It was never more than 6 inches from the top. It worked perfectly, the whole thing. Just before the two-stage ditch is the bridge at 100 North, the little pizza shape. The water could not get through it. So it went up my backyard because we're lower than Yellow Brick LLC property. It went around the bridge. I didn't go over the bridge, but it was mostly in my backyard where it's lower.
Did it cross the road? Did it go across the road? I mean, if the bridge backed up
No,
into your
no,
property,
it went-
it didn't go over the top of the
No,
road?
it was all on the lawn in the backyard,
So
all the way up to
basically,
the
from the
house.
bridge deck, that elevation through your yard?
What I'm saying is, when it got to the bridge, it started to expand.
Right.
It went to the low spots first.
And backed up?
Yes, but the two-stage ditch was perfect. But underneath there, will you clean that out?
Yes.
Okay. The same thing happened on 1300 East, Renbarger's field, but it was way worse. That crossed the road. Crossed the road a lot on
And
both
that's,
sides.
that's where the other two-stage ditch is at.
Right.
It's on the east
Oh,
side.
that's the other one? Okay. He's got a culvert, it's metal. And I don't know if you're supposed to check it and stuff, but I took pictures. I put them on my computer, so I don't have them here. Private joke. Lumber, construction lumber, trash, tree limbs, styrofoam stuff, all kinds of stuff was clogging that. And plus, it was too much water. The same thing when we got flooded years and years ago when you and Dave Duncan were there. It was all, people throw stuff in the ditches, tires, tree stuff. That all clogged up there too. So with this new cost, will you periodically check, or do I need to tell you when people are dumping trash there and call you up and ask you to please
You-
clean it out
you need
to get
to-
my money's worth?
You need to tell us when material's getting dumped in the ditch, absolutely.
Okay,
And
I'll
that-
start checking it more often because a dairy farmer's pretty busy. We don't go back there and walk a lot.
Right. Normally, we expect landowners to monitor the open ditches and drains on their properties. That, we're reactive, just like you calling saying, hey, there's a tree down blocking up the ditch.
I didn't call because I didn't want to
Right.
And I didn't want to go the next, because I thought, well, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, so I'll ask.
Right, so anytime there's a blockage in a regulated drain, your maintenance fees, what you're paying into the maintenance fund is to keep that water free flowing.
Okay,
So trash, that kind of stuff, a lot of times when it does become more of a municipal waste issue, stormwater will get involved because it's a water quality aspect. But the surveyor's office, we're charged with water quantity, keeping the water flowing. That regulated drain is landowner's outlet.
okay.
So that's our goal, is to keep it water flowing.
When we first moved here, the trees weren't that big, and I had seen people dumping, and I called, I didn't know who to call. This was in '89, and I was told to go down in the ditch, get everything out, the tires and stuff, put them along the road, and then call the highway department. I didn't do that because I didn't have waders. That ditch back there is 20 feet deep if it's a foot. It's, okay. My next question is any of this ditch work related to, I mean, you need to get it done, especially when the solar's coming in, because that's going to put a burden, I believe, on this ditch. Maybe not the first one, but the solar will be, the Ranger, the second one, will be right in my backyard. Will they be asked to pay any kind of money because they're coming into eastern Howard County and the solar is a big drainage issue? Are they paying any of this?
So my understanding, and I don't have a copy of or have not read any of the leases that the solar has made with individual landowners. But what I've been told is anything above the existing tax or assessment rolls, the solar company is picking up the difference of those costs as part of their lease agreement. If that's part of your lease agreement, the answer is yes. If it's not, then it's up to the landowners, because we are billing the landowner. So the landowner is the one that would be paying it. So the answer would be no if it's not in your lease agreement. So
Okay,
I don't know.
We don't have a lease agreement with solar. We do have two unsigned copies of, if you don't bother us, we'll pay you $11,000, but we've not signed them, but
A
that doesn't.
good neighbor agreement
Good
is what
neighbor
that is,
agreement.
sure.
So unless I have a lease with the solar, they won't help me with the money
I think,
to make more capacity in the ditch that they will be going into.
I think if that's something that you want, you need to have that negotiation with your good neighbor agreement. If you're looking at entering an agreement with solar, yes. I would definitely add that.
I'm a little confused. The good neighbor agreement is, we're not supposed to complain about anything. We've not signed it, we won't sign it, we're not taking the money.
Mhm.
You watch Andy Griffith, and what he teaches Opie, you're not supposed to sign something like that, that's called bribery.
Sure.
Just my personal comment, so.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see if there's any more questions, then I'll go sit down. My husband wants to know, are you going to cut the trees down?
On the side of the ditch that we will be cleaning, the answer is yes.
On
We
which
will-
side of the ditch will you be cleaning?
It depends when we get there. I haven't looked at, more than likely, we're gonna be on the south side through around your property, because you have fences on the north side. And
Yeah.
I really don't wanna tear the fences out.
And they're supposed to be grandfathered in because we needed to fix one, and I had to get permission, and the only way they gave us permission was because they were grandfathered in, they were there when we bought it, so I'm not quite sure. I have one more question, and it just kind of flew out. I saw some farmers that have ditching equipment doing some ditching work. Good for them. You mentioned at the church that any of the farmers that had their own ditching equipment or could do any of this work could reduce their costs. Possibly reduce their costs? Anyway.
I'm trying to follow you. Yeah,
My
go ahead
question
with the
is,
question.
I'm sitting at the church and I'm thinking, well, I have a Bobcat. Okay, that's not going to help at all. So I'm wondering if I knew what the work was, could I find out from you what needs to be done and get some prices to compare it to the price that you've gotten for who you are hiring to help reduce my costs? Because it's an economic burden, you know.
The simple answer to your question is no. When we go through and do a large watershed overhaul like this, we're looking at miles, and we split up those contracts based upon how it falls into play. So we would not allow an individual to go out and shovel their own section of the ditch.
Okay.
That's how it used to be done, is you would get a letter saying you need to clean X number of feet of the ditch through your property by this date.
Okay, I was trying to see if there was a way to reduce the cost.
Sure.
And I thought, let's ask the solar. They're throwing money around to the good neighbor agreements, maybe.
I would say absolutely ask them.
Well, maybe that's, I didn't get to read the economic development agreement, perhaps it's in there. Is it? No?
Not when it comes to the drains, no.
Well, I think that's all the questions I had. If I have any more, could I just stop in your office?
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
As far as spraying and maintaining, bids are put in for that, correctly?
We do quotes. Yep.
Okay. Is it possible to get a bid history printed out from past bids? And also, how do I go about putting a bid in to do the spraying through, for instance, Grant Howard Ditch?
Are you wanting to do all of the ditch, or are you just wanting to do your own
The section
property?
the section that's through my property.
Why don't we have a conversation after the meeting in reference to your own property?
Okay. Because we do a lot of the spraying. We've done a lot of spraying on top of, and I don't know, when did they start doing that? Every 2 years?
When did we start that
Yeah, when
program?
did you start doing the maintaining after a dredging?
2014, I believe, is when we started that program. And then we've been every other year, each side of the county.
Okay.
And then it's based upon what we've cleaned. So like your particular Grant Howard section, it would be even, so that's next year.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come talk to you.
But yes, we can have a conversation
Okay.
over your section. Yep.
HCDB 2505, an order modifying benefits and increasing assessments, acting pursuant to IC 36-92742. The Howard County Drainage Board determined that the percentage of benefits assigned to certain tracts in the above identified regulated drain watershed should be increased, and proposed an increase in the annual maintenance assessment which would affect all tracts in this watershed, as more particularly set forth on schedule prepared by the Howard County Surveyor and filed in this proceeding. The following action the board has on the date conducted a public hearing on the schedule, due notice to all affected owners, and after hearing any objections to the schedule and considering the evidence, the board now finds and orders: 1, the schedule is approved as submitted by the surveyor herein. Number 2, a copy of this order shall be mailed to each affected owner as required by IC 36-92742. And 3, any owner may request judicial review of this order within 20 days after receipt of this order in accordance with state statute adopted and ordered August 18, 2025. Is the board's wishes to accept that?
Second.
The motion by Jack, or Mr. Dodd. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Allery. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. At this time, I'd accept a motion to go out of the public hearing back to the regular Drainage Board meeting.
So moved?
Got a motion by Mr. Allery. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bray. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're back in regular Drainage Board. Mr. Long.
Yes, Tony Long, 2725 South, 500 West, Rusheville. I live in Cambridge Quarters, Section 1, Lot 1. The issue that I've got is flooding. My home flooded on the 14th of June, 14 inches of water through my home. The problem being that this subdivision, I'm the low lot on 500 West. These lots they flow from the high point, which is south, down to the north, which I'm the farthest north lot. Water runs down there. The surface, this addition was built with surface drain only, my understanding. And being the low lot on this subdivision, I've got 2 farm fields that drain in to my property, and then I've got 8 lots that drain into my property, and then I've got a railroad track on the north side of me, which is approximately 4 to 5 foot higher than my property. The road, 500 West, is approximately 3 foot higher than my property, and the house to my neighbor, the house to my south, is approximately 3 foot higher than my property. So I get all this water, runs from the south down to the north, and there is a drain that runs between me and my neighbor, which runs under 500 West. It's inadequate. It's only 13 inches. There was a survey ran, and it based on the water flow, it came out that it should be, if I'm not mistaken, 24 inches, and this drain is currently 13 inches, and it's half stopped up as it is. So it was not taking water on the day of this flood. And I've got, we've lost basically everything in our house. It's having to be rebuilt. This is a picture of it. The water came up, went into my house 14 inches high. So the house is getting rebuilt now. So 500 West acts as a dam. And when water doesn't flow under 500 West through this culvert, it backs up into my house. We've lived there approximately 4 years, and we've never seen water like this before. We've had water in the yard, but not like this. It's my understanding from the neighbors across the road from me that the house flooded when it was being built back in 2017. And I've got pictures of that as well. So this has been it's my understanding from neighbors that stopped and talked to me since this flood that this has been a flood area for a long time. So my issue is the drain needs to be increased, but so far the resolution has been, we will fix the drain going under 500 West if you will pay for the water that runs to the east. So that means we have to pay for this to correct the problem. And so I feel like, based on the fact that I don't know when these lots were developed, but with surface drains only and no subsurface drains, this water is going to flow down and it gets trapped on my property. And between me and my neighbor, there's a ditch out there where it runs down, runs under the road, and it's only 13 inches in diameter. That's not adequate. So the solution so far has been that we will fix 500 West if you will pay for running the drainage ditch, which would run to the east, down under across my neighbor's property. So I've found out that this is a easement that was granted back when these lots were developed. It runs 250 feet to the east under 500 West. So there is already a drain there, and there's a steel grate on the low side where the water comes out of the culvert, which is not adequate. It's already been determined that it's not adequate to carry the water. So I'm being asked, I feel like I'm being held hostage if we don't, and my neighbor doesn't pay for this, running this drain down through his property, which would require, so far we've been told it would probably have to be a 24-inch culvert or a drain that runs 250 feet under his property. So my question is, and my concern is, if this is already put in by the county, which I understand that this original drain that's inadequate under this easement was put in by the county, so why would I or my neighbor be required to pay for this? You know, right now, I'm at $125,000 to $150,000 loss on my home, and then turn around, you're asking me to pay for this drainage, which is, I think is very unfair. So I'm going to ask that this board would either the county pay for finishing this drain going east underneath after you do the culvert, or else do an assessment, because all this water is not mine. This water belongs to this entire watershed, and I don't know how many people's on this watershed, but there's several. My understanding, it's like a 650-acre watershed. So why would I and my neighbor have to pay to increase it, put this pipe in underneath this 250 feet going to the east under 500, after it goes under 500 west? Why would we be required to pay for that when I've suffered the kind of loss I've already suffered? So where I'm at is, at some point in time, I'd like to sell this property, and now I've got to declare it flooded. And if something's not done by the county, it's going to flood again, I just can't live with that. So I'm requesting, I'm asking, pleading with this board that you either pay for this drainage and put this culvert in, at least a minimum of a 24-inch drain, which that's what it called for based on the homes to my south where this water flows down. And this, again, I mean, this I'm stuck. I mean, my property is going to be nothing but a backup for all this water if something's not done and this road is not corrected and this culvert is not increased, the size is not increased. I mean, this is going to flood again. And so I don't know why we have to pay or being asked to pay for this, but at least, or at minimum, if the county can't pay for finishing this drain running to the east after it goes under 500 west, I think everybody on this watershed should have a responsibility to pay for this. If the county can't pay for it or doesn't have the money to pay for it, it should be spread around, not put on me and not put on my neighbor. I just don't have that kind of money. So I'm asking this drainage board to please correct this problem before my house floods again on another torrential rain like we had back on the 18th or 14th of June. So I don't know what else I can say other than the fact that I don't know why that, there's not been more drainage done on these lots when they were developed, but they wasn't. So we can't go back now and rehash that. We have to live where we're at today. And the fact is, these homes are built, my home is lower than the others, and I'm going to continue to get the brunt of all this water if something's not done. So I'm not real happy that I feel like I'm being held hostage here by the county. And I'm requesting, I'm asking, I'm pleading with this board to please do something. And if you can't afford to finish this drain and run it on to the east, then do an assessment on everybody that's on this watershed. And with that, I'll shut up. Thank you.
The two houses to the north, are they higher than your property?
To the north?
Yes.
There's no houses to the north.
So which house do you live in then? I thought it was the third house. Right here. Okay, so
The railroad track runs here, then there's...
I thought this was your house right here.
No, this is mine here. Last house I'm the last house on the left.
I saw that movie.
Yes, yeah, that's not one, that's a bad movie. But anyway, that's my situation, and again, everything, all the water flows to my property, and this ditch that runs under here goes this way to the east. So if you don't flood my neighbor, something's got to be done with that water if you're going to increase the size of that culvert. I agree with that. So, but I can't afford to pay for it.
Open.
Okay. Any comments other than what Mr.?
I'd like to address the board. I'm the property owner to the east. You may or may not, if you already have maps. Mr. Faust and Mr. Long, we are triangular neighbors. The water easement is on my side of the property. I was told that in 1991 that was installed by the county. The 13-inch culvert that he spoke about was probably adequate when that was all farm field. Obviously, it's not adequate now. The plats for this subdivision, Mr. Long being lot number 1, Mr. Faust being lot number 2, we're in a incomplete subdivision. I don't know if you all have the plats for the next phase, but the next phase, which is to the north, or on the other side of the tracks from Mr. Long, has 20 lots already platted. There's a drain tile from that existing agricultural field at the moment, so there'll also be more drainage after all those when we start adding roofs and driveways and whatever. That's going to continue to complicate this process. There was a roadside meeting, which some of the members that are on this board were there, where an assessment was brought up about this for the watershed. The problem's going to get bigger, gentlemen. The water was high enough, and he's correct, it was 14 inches in his house. The water was high enough that it jeopardized 500 because it washed gravel and soil across the asphalt onto my property. So now you have a pending position with the road being destroyed as well. The drain that's on my side of the property, the east side of the property, absolutely has to be addressed. There's a building that this county approved a permit for on the lower portion of my property, as well as the elevation of the building was raised 12 inches because of the water issue that has been there prior. Now you add the enhancement of these 8 lots, 9 lots, 8 lots that are currently existing, and an additional 20 that have not been developed, along with the agricultural fields behind it. The drain tiles that come out of the agricultural field, as well as the drain tile that was installed on Mr. Long's property from the prior owner, I'm going to have a significant loss in property. You're also going to cause me to be in a floodplain, which is not recognized by FEMA now, nor is Mr. Long's property. We're looking for a solution, gentlemen. We're not looking to make money on this. We want a solution to the water so that it can be controlled, so there's no more property damage. There seems to be ample hands in this pie of how this was created, including the builder that built this property. The fact that the county doesn't have building inspectors isn't relevant. The county blessed all these houses, blessed the drains that exist, blessed the drain tiles that exist. And we have a county road now, a very nice county road that money's been spent on, also in jeopardy here. It's not just homeowners now. The county has a possibility of a loss as well. I would like to see some kind of resolution here. I understand there is some funding that is possible that you guys could access for this, on top of the fact that there may be a watershed easement allowed as well. We'd kind of like to know what the county has a plan to do, the water board has a plan to do.
Well, it's obvious right now we don't have a plan, but
I understand that, sir, and at this point, it's not a matter, and I'm going to phrase Mr. Lake here, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen again, it's a matter of when. The loss at this point that Mr. Long has suffered is catastrophic, as well as the permanent loss to his property value.
Greg, does the water flow to the east there?
Yes.
Is there good flow there?
Grade? Yes.
Yeah,
That's where he lives, on the east side.
right. I'm just talking about this drain right here. Is there ample flow grade on out to the east?
The drain that's there, according to Mr. Lake, may be impeded by tree roots and whatever. We wouldn't know until we dug it up. But it is adequate for the 13-inch drain. It's not adequate for the 24-inch drain, per Mr. Lake. Now, there was a street side estimate for materials. The $5,000 number was thrown out there. I've actually went to an agricultural drain company that sells the pipe. The 24-inch pipe is $35 a foot, times your 250 feet easement is $8,750. No gravel, no labor, no nothing. This is a significant amount of money.
The 13-inch pipe, Greg, is it is it open? I mean, could
What
part of the
they're,
problem
what they're
be it's-
describing, I measured it as a 15-inch road culvert. I'm not sure where we got 13 from, but you guys must have measured it.
Well, on my side of the street, about this far back up in the street underneath the road, it's completely rotted out.
It is a road culvert that is not in the best of shape. That is correct. And their drainage from the subdivision outlets at the face of the road culvert, it drains through the road culvert to the east side of the road and drops into a tiled ditch, which then carries the water past his barn and outlets to the surface.
And during our roadside meetings, we were all in agreement that this was going to be a future problem. I wasn't even aware of the other 20 lots that had already been platted out until we went ahead and we hired ourselves a legal counsel and did some research.
I guess I'm unaware of this 20 lots on the north side of the railroad track.
Yes, sir. On the north side.
What's the name of the subdivision?
This development. The county should be aware of this. They granted-
Actually, section 2 is on the south side of this property. It's not north of the railroad track.
Okay.
And yes, it is platted.
You're
Yeah,
welcome to
that's
keep that,
section
sir.
2.
You're welcome to keep that.
Oh, all
I
right.
have copies if ever the other board members would like it.
No, that's actually on the south end of,
I'm going to do it anyway.
it's along 300 south.
I can see
As I
it.
said, this is going to be a continuation of a larger disaster. The yellow indicated areas are what's currently the issue. Second page is the proposed platted areas.
And it's not proposed, it is. Those are subdivision lots.
Down at the bottom. Down there. Greg, what about the county paying for this ditch in 91? What,
I am completely unaware of it. That's the first I've heard of it. So I don't know.
it's not a regulated drain then?
It is not, no. It's a subdivision drain in off-site easement.
Is there enough fall there to put in a bigger culvert at the road and then daylight it there and just run across the top of this gentleman's property?
If you'd like to blow out his barn at the bottom of the hill. You see
That's
that
not really
barn at the
acceptable to me.
bottom of the hill on the east side?
Yeah.
All the water runs directly into the door of that barn. And that's why I strongly recommended not doing that, because he's going to suffer more consequences for overland flow. They have an easement for a tile, and that's, in my opinion, what that easement's for. But as far as the design criteria, when it was built in 1997, I believe all the requirements were met for capacity sizes.
Which was well before any housing or any plating was put on that side of the street. It was all agricultural. At which time there was also drains in those fields.
But to put the road, and I'm sorry we were late, that's why I had to ask Amber to be here, is for part of this discussion, but the road will not handle a 24-inch surface culvert. It doesn't have enough clearance to the top. So what we had proposed to this roadside meeting, these three owners, was if they would replace the drainage on the east side of the road from behind the barn where it daylights to the road, and I would like to have them extend it to the west side of the road, a 24-inch drain, the county would pick up the cost of cutting the road and replacing the culvert at the road with an 18-inch culvert. That's the best we could get under the road, is an 18. But if we did that with a 24, if the landowners would go about doing that, we would pick up the cost of cutting the road, backfilling the road, doing all the asphalt on the road, plus a 18-inch culvert. And that would be above the 100-year storm event required to pass water.
And then are you saying put pipe over past his barn?
I would carry the surface water, or that 24-inch pipe would outlet on the east side of his barn. So that the only time surface water runs through his yard is whenever the road culvert, the 18-inch culvert that we would put in, would engage. So in other words, a 24-inch pipe would hit capacity, and water would start backing up in Mr. Long's yard, and then the road culvert would engage, and surface water would run over his land just like it has in the past, but it wouldn't be a wall of water that would be taking out his barn. The majority of the watershed would be carried underground.
And you think that would help solve their problem?
I believe it would solve their problem, yes. But this board doesn't have a mechanism in place for us paying for private drainage or subdivision drainage.
Which is why I asked about the assessment, watershed assessment.
Right.
Because everyone was contributing, all those people, including new, eventual, future owners.
For this board to pay for that, you would have to create a regulated drain or a regulated watershed. And the mechanisms to make that happen, there's a couple ways to do it, but creating a new regulated drain, the landowners are responsible for all the soft costs of putting that regulated drain in place. So you have to pay an attorney, write the easements, do all the notifications of everyone in that watershed, do the certified mailing. It's very expensive for a landowner to create a regulated drain. We have done some other conversions of drains. You can take a private drain, private or mutual drain, subdivision drain, and convert it to a regulated drain if it meets today's standards, which obviously this doesn't, so that gets thrown out the window. That statute hardly ever gets used. The last one would be what we did at Marion Monroe, to where we converted a subdivision drain into a regulated drain, and then we had a reconstruction, and we rebuilt it. We have done that. It doesn't go well, but it's a possibility.
Is this in a regulated watershed now?
No, sir.
I didn't think so.
The other concept, what they're describing is everyone in the subdivision paying for the drainage. I don't disagree with that either, because that's usually set up in the covenants where if a subdivision drain's blocked, either the person that's blocked it pays, the person complaining pays, they work together, or everybody pays. So that's the kind of the setup of private mutual drain obstruction, and we run through that public hearing.
You know, your idea of doing the road and them putting a drain in past that barn, looks like there's about 20 houses, 20 properties along there.
There's 11 on the west side of the road
Yeah,
that
but there's
would
some
drain
across
to
the
this.
road too.
But the folks on the east side of the road do not drain to this point.
I know, I'm just saying, all the homes down through there, why couldn't they all go in together and share that cost?
Again, the proposed 20 lots that are undeveloped will also contribute. If this is not addressed, he's going to have a swimming pool instead of a house, especially after those are built.
And I don't know who the developer is, but maybe the developer, all the homes there on the west side,
He has
maybe all you
passed.
guys could go together and get this done.
I don't know who the developer's going to be for those 20 lots, but that needs to be addressed at the time those permits are issued, because it wasn't addressed with the first 8
Right.
lots.
The development is done. These are,
The first ones, yes, sir.
even the ones that haven't been built on, they are buildable lots. They're a legal lot, subdivision lot. Anybody can go pick up a building permit and build on them
It
now.
seems to me that if they're gonna be contributors to the water, the rainwater runoff, that they ought to be contributors to the control of it.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that these are not proposed lots. These are buildable lots as of today.
Then I'll stand corrected.
And Mr. Bassett is the one that developed this subdivision. Bill Bassett. He's no longer with us.
I'm just saying, you know, it sounds like the surveyor's office is willing to help. Sounds like you guys are willing to do something. Sounds like everybody needs to come together to address this issue.
So we're not willing to foot the whole bill.
Right. You know, that's what I'm saying. If everybody comes together, then maybe this problem could get resolved.
That's what we're hoping for.
I don't think anybody's willing to say, we're gonna foot the whole bill. You're not.
That was the reason why I'm the one who proposed the watershed assessment at the roadside meeting, was so that the cost was shared amongst everybody equally,
That
including the farmlands, because they contribute as well.
sounds like a reasonable idea to me.
I thought so.
So I would propose that you guys address this developer and say, this needs to be fixed, and county is willing to do some, and you guys are willing to do some, and let's all come together and sing kumbaya.
Jack, there's no developer in the picture here.
Well,
I think
whoever's selling these lots.
the only people that would be apt to pay overall would be the people in the Cambridge Estate subdivision. So all the lots in section 1 and potentially section 2 would be the individuals that would be up for paying.
Well, whoever's selling these
What about the
lots.
farm fields that drain in there?
I don't disagree that the farm fields don't drain into it, but when you're looking at it being a subdivision, now, if you wanted to make it a regulated drain, yes. I agree that the whole watershed catchment there's a mechanism for everyone to pay into that. But when it comes to just dealing with the subdivision itself, then you're limited to the subdivision lots only.
What's the avenue to make it a regulated drain?
Like I said, there's 3 ways. The landowner creates a regulated drain, and there's a big, long laundry list. You hire an attorney, it's very expensive. It takes about 8 months to do. It's doable, but I have yet to find a landowner willing to do that. The second is the drainage has to meet today's standards, and you petition to have the drain taken over and become a regulated drain. It doesn't meet today's standards, so you would have to upgrade it, and then we could turn it into a regulated drain, which that doesn't help your cause because you don't want to pay that cost. So the third way is through a process that we have done very few times, I think twice total, since I've been here, and that's where we convert a subdivision drain into a regulated drain, and we make it an urban drain. It's just like Brookshire. We made urban drains. The farmers around that subdivision, it's an urban drain. It's for the houses. So the pipe sizes are extremely large for the houses. And that's who ends up paying the bill, is the subdivision.
And the farmers really, what about the drains from the farmers that are already existing there? What takes place there?
At the present time in Brookshire, nothing. It's a pass-through. It was draining through there before the subdivision was built. It
So
still
you're
drains
telling
there
me
today.
They're grandfathered in and they're gonna contribute without paying the cost. I understand.
Correct, because their water's still draining today. It's not causing them a problem today. It's causing the residents of that subdivision the problem.
This option that you've offered here, the one that's on the table right now, what steps does that entail?
It's about a 4 to 5 month process. You have a public hearing over converting the subdivision drains to a regulated drain, and then a reconstruction of that, of the converted drain, and rebuild the subdivision drain.
Okay, so that's something that has to be set for public hearing.
There's 2 or 3 public hearings. Actually, we had several town halls discussing it with all the people involved.
My suggestion would be have a town hall first. we did something like that.
Is that something you two want to pursue? I see no loss in doing it. It doesn't appear to have a cost to have a meeting about it.
I just need the problem fixed, whatever.
You said there's an easement
Yes, sir.
for that tile drain. Who owns that easement?
It's an off-site drainage easement, so it's
What
tied
is
to
that?
the parcels of the subdivision. So it's for the subdivision.
Got it.
They just didn't use it.
So this town hall meeting / public meetings, at what cost is that to us as landowners? Would there be any cost available to that?
To have a town hall, no, it's just what my office does. It's what we do to get neighbors to sit down and have a conversation.
Okay. When we have to move to a public meeting, is there an expense?
When we would move to a public hearing for the conversion, there would have to be a very clear understanding that there will be a cost coming.
To the landowners in the subdivision?
Correct.
The cost to hold the meeting, there is none.
No.
I'd like to propose to this board that we hold those open meetings and the steps that are necessary. We're not going to get anywhere otherwise.
What I have proposed in the past with these other situations is we want at least 50% of the land benefited acres to be in favor of moving forward with this before we do it. Because I'm concerned that you may not get that half of these 11, just the 11 lots that have homes there, let alone the additional lots.
I'm aware that the statistics there, that it's probably not going to be popular to ask people to take more money out of their pocket through their taxes. I understand that.
Yeah.
However, if you don't try, you're not going to get it anywhere. Again,
Have you all, have any of you talked to the rest of your neighbors at all?
I have not, no, sir.
Okay.
I don't, Mr. Long, have you talked to any of the other neighbors? Those of us that are present.
Okay.
Again, I propose that we go ahead and schedule the town hall meetings and move forward after that into the public meeting.
And that, once again, that would take going to those 11 homes and getting 50%. That's what we did with Brookshire.
That's what we did with Brookshire.
Is there a petition he has to start with to get this going?
There is a petition to request the conversion, yes. But normally I wouldn't accept the petition until they had,
Until after you got to 50?
until they got 50% of the folks. Because that's, just from my past experience, it's tough to get that. But I think we can easily hold a town hall meeting, invite everyone to it, and have the conversation.
The 50%, would that be the 50% present?
No,
50% of the property owners?
correct.
So they could, they wouldn't have to be present, but they could also do mail-in.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they can.
So
Whose responsibility is it to get a hold of those 11 homes?
I would take care of that if we're gonna have a town hall. I mean, I would send them a notice. I can't guarantee that they show up, but
That's.
So we would need, you would need six, you would need six people, six landowners
I think
in
we have-
favor of
I think
this.
we have two sitting right there of the six right now.
Okay, well,
We're
so you're,
halfway there.
you're almost halfway there.
So, Greg, how long does it take you to notify the landowners?
that doesn't take long. It's just getting the
And how much time?
scheduling
Much time, Mr. Wilson, do we need to give them to respond?
for a town hall.
For town hall, I don't think you have to
Okay.
get any response at all.
Yeah. No, it's
Just
just,
set the
that's
date
what
and
we
time
do.
and notify
Well-
them of the date and time.
We can notify for a town hall and schedule that. It probably won't, we're in August. Is this August? probably looking at into September, 1st of October, before we could get something scheduled up.
Gotta put one
I
foot
think
in
that's
front of the
fair.
other.
I think that's fair.
We're not gonna get to a resolution or a decision without putting one foot in front of the other.
So Mr. Lake will, his office will work on contacting all the homeowners and the 11 homeowners there and get a hold of you and or us, and we'll set a date for that.
I
Yeah, I'll
have
just send out a
one more-
mailing.
I have one more question. Someone owns the property to the undeveloped part of that plat. Would they not be included?
I think they would be included if the drainage that runs behind the properties is extended around to the new section. I would
We
say
already know
yes.
there's a drain tile that runs underneath the tracks.
Not the tracks. We're on the south end of the property.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
But
so-
there's a drain tile that runs from
From the north
Alto
side.
Road side of the tracks, under the tracks, it comes out at that culvert.
Yes, it does.
I've got one more thing. Am I hearing from the board or the water board here, there's no solution to this without having to go through this hearing? This water board can't do anything to relieve this problem? I mean, I've expressed my situation that I'm the one that's gonna have the next home flood. Nobody else on these 8 homes are gonna get flooded but me. So I'm stuck. I mean, I would think the county board ought to come up with something here to give me some relief on this. I
I
mean,
don't think that's quite true, because Greg said that they could cut the road, redo the road. You guys run a short drain out there past his barn.
it's not short, it's
Open
250
air.
feet.
But,
Yeah.
so that was one solution. Here's a different solution, so, we're trying to brainstorm something here.
Yeah, well, I would,
Is there a magic solution? No, there's not.
so you're saying this underground pipe is the only solution? A ditch with rock in it, with riprap wouldn't suffice, it has to be underground?
You could put an open swale in on the east side of the road. I don't know that he would like that as his
I
yard.
was at our roadside meeting, that we didn't break open the drain tile, the pipe that's there, but I put an open control on the surface of the ground, because as we both discussed, whatever pipe's in the ground, once it is overcome by water supply, it's gonna run on the surface of the ground anyway, which is why I said we need control on the surface of the ground, protect the building.
So would you like an open ditch in your yard?
As long as you don't make a nasty hole out of it, I don't care. I can mow on both sides.
So you
You
could
can make a
save,
French drain out of it for all I care.
but I guess what I'm getting after is if the cost is cheaper to run an open ditch from the road to the east side of his barn than to enclose it, and he's willing to have an open ditch in his yard, I don't have any problems with that. That's between you guys.
So we're back to the responsibility of paying now for an open ditch.
It is, yes. Whether it's open or closed, it's still the same conversation that I had with you out on the road. It's a private ditch, it's a private mutual drain. We don't have a way to do
The
that.
road is not, it's not possible to put a 24-inch culvert in there. It's won't impede the road.
It is possible all they have to do is build the road up. They don't want to build the road up. They can put a hump in the road to correct this problem if they
And I
wanted
see
to.
that- See, from that perspective, however, I'd like to suggest, what about a box drain in a rectangular form where it doesn't require the hump in the road, but it's wide enough to channel the water?
If you went with a box culvert, a small structure, instead of a round pipe, yes, you can increase the size and keep the depth shallow enough to where it would meet. It just increases the cost of that culvert.
The road's in jeopardy, Mr. Lake. There was enough water there that could have got up underneath the asphalt of the road and caused the road to be torn off.
You've lived there a long time. You've lived there, what,
Since
20,
17.
how many?
2017.
2017. Oh, I thought you'd been there longer than that.
I've watched it flood several times. It's not the first time it's come across the road.
Can't you put two 15-inch culverts side by side?
I would defer to Amber on that, but she isn't gonna like it. You can do it, but it causes problems.
Okay.
I think that would, in my personal opinion, I think that would cause a obstruction problem from corn stalks or whatever else get wrapped around it and plug it up. That's why I went to a box culvert, because it's open, there's no divider in it.
Right.
And that would eliminate the problem of having to create an unlevel surface in the road.
Right.
The big picture here is, Mr. Long doesn't ever have to swim to his house. I don't lose my pole barn on my side, and we don't lose a very nice county road. There's a lot of taxpayer money's been put into it, and we're in jeopardy for all three. This actually lands in everybody's lap. And right now, we're struggling over who's gonna put the most money.
Is it 250 feet from the road to the backside of his new barn? That's 250 feet? That seems fairly far to me.
It's probably close. Where'd you get your 250 foot? Off, just off, so that's off the easement
Now,
that
I
they
had a
have.
contractor come out, and they measured it out by satellite at 264, from the end of the pipe where it comes out to the surface, back to the road. Now, that's probably sweeping around.
Yeah, it's going
the
around
natural
the-
waterway.
Right. So, yeah, 250 foot. Sounds about right.
And then I got the price for the pipe here locally, which I'm glad I was setting down at $35 a foot.
That's retail pricing, yeah.
So we have another option would be to, an open ditch, yes.
I mean, I've driven past many of your open riprap ditches that were virtually level with gravel just to control the amount of force of the water and wash away what's poured out there. And they're reasonably aesthetically pleasing.
They are.
I think we have to talk to Amber before we can decide anything.
Amber is the engineer for the road, the highway.
County highway, yes.
She's a highway superintendent, yes. I don't think we can answer for her.
No, and the only thing that I can answer for her is what we proposed as far as the county taking care of the road, if they wanted to run the drainage on the east side. She's still willing to do that.
So there's a couple possible solutions that we've brainstormed here tonight. None of them's great, to be honest.
I'm sure, I'm going to speak for you just for a moment, I'm sure Mr. Long doesn't want to have to foot the bill, especially at the catastrophic loss that he's got right now on the opposite side of the road of where he's at.
Well, I think I'm interested in investigating, talking to Amber, talking to Greg, and the new culvert with the open ditch. I've been out to Mr. Long, these fellows' house twice, trying to talk to him and try to figure some things out. It's a problem, and I think this is if this gentleman is being reasonable, I think that is a reasonable solution that might possibly be more cost-effective.
Are you wanting it ripped wrap gravel from the road to the backside of your barn? No, it will not be cheaper.
Could we table this till the next?
Well, you're gonna have to. I mean, as far as, I don't think you're gonna make a decision tonight.
So
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what your response was, Mr. Linsky.
I told him that the price for running riprap 250 feet in an open ditch would be the same price as running the pipe.
I'll make a motion that we table this till the next meeting, give us a chance to do some exploratory stuff.
I would second that.
We got a motion by Mr. Dodd to table this till the next meeting to come up with possible solutions. Got a second by Mr. Byram. You have any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So you're not going to do the,
We're going to at the next meeting on September 2nd, we're going to hopefully have some solutions, options.
You're not gonna do the public meetings?
Not until after that meeting, if we see what these options cost. Any other business in front of this board tonight? Any other public comments?
I just have a public comment. Someone just told me that solar is given $52 million or $1 billion to the county, or maybe
What?
that's going to be the,
I mean, we're not here to talk about solar.
on the EVA, is the county getting $52 million or $52 billion? I'm just asking, I listen to them, and it's wonderful that you're trying to help them, and I'm wondering, maybe somebody in authority, not me, could contact the solar company and say, listen, you guys are going to cause some drainage issues here. Could you just give a little bit of money to help cover the people in the Little Pipe Creek project?
What you're talking about is a pharmaceutical lawsuit that the state of Indiana's been involved in, and it's opioid dollars. That money can only be used for opioid stuff.
Okay, you answered my question.
And it's not 52 million.
I want to go home, but.
It's
I wanna
much,
go to
much smaller. It's like
Could anyone,
90,000 here, or maybe 50,000 there. We've been getting that for the last couple of years.
I know, we're not necessarily here to talk about solar, but I
Oh,
know.
I know that. I'm not
I know
talking
that-
about
I know that
solar.
it
I'm
affects
talking
you.
about
I know-
money.
I know that it affects you, and you live out there, but I know Mr. Blake worked real hard, and we made an addendum to the solar ordinance that if anybody was adversely affected by drainage, that you could, I don't know the specifics of the, but we made it, that if you was adversely affected, and you could show that the solar people would be held accountable. That was an addendum to the ordinance.
yes, I think I saw that, how it had to work. You had to dig it up and show them that they broke tiles and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I don't have a backhoe, I have a Bobcat. But I was only asking, since you're the drainage board, could someone, you brainstormed here, and I'm wondering, could someone just ask the solar company to help? You're creating more capacity, you're making the ditches better, and they're going to contribute to extra needing of what you're doing. I'm not wording that right, but I'm tired.
I know what you're going after. You're wanting to know if the solar company can foot some of the bill for the maintenance on the drain.
It's Eastern Howard County is where the solar project is. Perhaps this is a project on drainage in Eastern Howard County, and I'm just asking if somebody in authority could just ask them. They
And-
seem to be wanting to give money away. They want to give it to me.
Right, and on the Little Pipe Creek watershed, that would be for, NG's not in that watershed. They have a very small amount of area that would end up going into
I know,
that
but the
watershed.
second one is.
Yeah, the second one is,
So I
but
just thought someone could ask maybe the second one. They're lined up.
Sure.
They've got their
Absolutely.
attention.
Yep.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
I haven't seen one thing about a second one, other than they've talked, they haven't said one word
They
to
haven't-
me.
they
Nothing's
have
come
a
in front of me
special
about a
exemption.
second solar. I hear that it's coming, I hear this, but I haven't seen one thing, so.
But the BZA approved the
that-
special exemption, didn't they? That's what I heard. Is that not right?
for
Yes.
Ranger, they,
For Ranger.
did.
We're talking Ranger. They've been approved, and
Not been
I'm
in front of me.
wondering, it's gonna affect right there.
that will
So-
affect this
So perhaps
watershed,
I'm just
yes.
asking, please think about and put this on
Absolutely.
your thing. Ask Ranger to start paying now. I mean, that's all I'm asking. Thank you. And I'm not being grouchy or, I'm just tired, okay?
You're good.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second. A motion by Mr. Byron, second by Mr. Dodd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks.